Now, I realized there's more to it. Doon ko na-realize na putya't hindi lang pala stick and knife ang Filipino martial arts. It actually defines who I am. It has been me ever since way back. Remember, I learned Filipino martial arts when I was on my early teens. And since then, Filipino martial arts has been very valuable for me. It's my way of life.
Filipino martial arts. Ang arnis ba yung stick?
No. Yun yung biggest misconception ng mga tao sa Filipino martial arts. Pag sinabing arnis, akala nila yun na yung stick. Arnis is a complete martial arts. The stick is the tool.
Pero, siyempre, intro ka. What is Filipino martial arts?
Filipino martial arts is the indigenous fighting arts of the Filipinos. Ito yung isa sa mga minana natin sa ninuno natin. As to history, there's nothing concrete to say, to be honest. Kasi hindi well documented ang Filipino martial arts. Sad to say, unlike any other Asian fighting arts, most of our Filipino fighting arts history is actually based and solely dependent on its progenitor. Meaning, ito yung history according kay ganitong grandmaster and so on and so forth. Bakit? Kasi hindi naman talaga well documented ang Filipino martial arts, sad to say. I'm sure yung ibang instructors ng Filipino martial arts na kagaya ko would think, ano ba naman yan? Bakit ganyan yung ano mo? Bakit ganyan yung what you call this, perspective mo sa Filipino martial arts? Let's just say it's because of my long history with Filipino martial arts. Marami tayong ever since I was a young boy, I've been studying Filipino martial arts and I've been doing research. Ano ba talaga yung pinagmulan ng Filipino martial arts natin? Of course, we were proud of what we have. We're proud of our heritage from our ancestors. Pero, here's the thing. Ang daming history. Ang daming itong pinanggalingan ng Filipino martial arts. Pero eventually, nadidebunk siya. Does that mean na wala tayong history? Of course not. Meron. It's just that it's unclear. And suffice it to say, let's just put it this way. Hindi masyadong napagbubuhusan ng time yung research about Filipino martial arts.
So how would you compare Filipino martial arts to foreign?
Just like any other martial arts, Filipino martial arts has its strengths and weaknesses. Ganon din ang foreign martial arts. It has its strengths and weaknesses. Why? One, yung effectivity ng Filipino martial arts, hindi mo naman siya matatawaran eh. Bakit? Kasi it's being practiced all over the world. Right? Merong ibang practitioners, maraming practitioners sa Amerika, maraming practitioners sa Canada, maraming practitioners sa iba't ibang part ng Europe. Maraming interested. In fact, they even spend their time, their hard-earned money, and then all those, di ba? Para pumunta sa Pilipinas. For what? Para mag-aral ng Filipino martial arts, so to say. Now, with that being said, we all know that it's effective and all that. But does that mean na it is the ultimate martial arts? Of course not. There's no such thing as ultimate martial arts. That's what I know. Kasi, kung papansinin mo, people tend to say, this is the ultimate martial arts. Nothing's wrong with that. They're proud of their craft. Ako, I would never take anything away from those people, those other Filipino martial arts instructors, masters, and what have you. They would say, this is the ultimate fighting art. This is the best in the world. They're proud of their craft. But is it realistic? Really? No, it's not. Because it has weaknesses. I'm not saying that they're not good. What I'm saying is it has its weaknesses.
Next question, Guro. One major misconception sa Filipino martial arts. Ang arnis ba yung stick?
No. Yun yung biggest misconception ng mga tao sa Filipino martial arts. Pag sinabing arnis, akala nila yun na yung stick. Arnis is a complete martial arts. The stick is the tool. Yun yung unfortunate ignorance, not just, mostly here in the Philippines. In the Philippines, when you say, pabili nga po ng baston, ano yun? Ito, yung arnis. Arnis ang tawag dyan. You know, sometimes, one story. I went downtown, bumili ko ng sticks. Naghahanap ako ng sticks, and I was able to find a good one, a really good one with nodes and skin. Tapos, I talked to the shopkeeper, and I was asking how much. And then, sabi niya sa akin, ang tawag dyan ay arnis. With conviction. Ano po yan, yung baston? No. Arnis ang tawag dyan. Yan, yung gamit na yan. Arnis siya. Instructor. Isa pang misconception about Filipino martial arts. Pag sinabing practitioner ako ng arnis wala ka ng kwenta pag nabitawan mo yung stick mo. That's one of the biggest misconception. Okay. Bakit? Una, napakakonti ng exposure ng Filipino martial arts sa Pilipinas. Limited yung alam ng mga Pilipino tungkol sa Filipino martial arts. So when you say arnis, ang sasabihin nila, oo, nag-arnis ako nung high school ako oo, nag-arnis ako nung college ako How do you consider yourself as a Filipino martial artist? You should be able to translate whatever movements there is with or without weapons. Kung ano yung ginagawa mo nung may hawak ka na weapon, dapat kaya mong i-translate yun kapag mano-mano na or empty hands. Otherwise, kulang yung pagkakaintindi mo sa Filipino martial arts. So that's one misconception.
Meron pa ba?
Two, of course, kasi nga, galing sa Pilipinas Alam mo naman ng mga Pilipino, pag galing sa Pilipinas, wala yan. Mas magaling yung teacher ko kasi yung teacher ko Amerikano Funny story. Wala yan, lang kwenta yan. Tuturo ng kali Pilipino. Teacher ko nga, Amerikano galing Amerika, ganyan. Yung hindi na-realize ng taong nagsabi na yun, na yung teacher mo, nag-aral lang sa Pinoy, sa Pilipino. So proud na proud ka, teacher ko, Amerikano. Pero yung tinuro sa'yo, yung craft, yung art, yung sining ng pagtatanggol ng ninuno mo. So, di ba? Yun yung mga misconceptions ng
Ano ba ang tamang tawag sa at least weapon-based arts?
Okay. It is a very controversial topic, sa totoo lang, no? Kasi some people said it's arnis. Some people says it's arnis. Some people says it's eskrima. While some actually claim that there's such thing as a mother art called kali. From the word itself, kali, from the word kalis, or the sword. Now, here's the thing. There are a lot of researchers from world-class researchers, people who did the extra mile and then traveled to understand what Filipino martial arts is. And the sad truth is, there's no such thing as a mother art. Masyadong controversial yun. I do not want to touch base on such topic. It's just that ang Filipino martial arts, some calls it arnis, some calls it eskrima, some calls it kali. I was fortunate to study all three.
Okay.
Now,
can you name those?
Okay, I had the opportunity to learn Lapunti Arnis de Abanico with Master Lucrecio Ampit Sr. I was able to study Uedo Eskrima from Grandmaster Frank Sobrino and Grandmaster Jesus Palyorina. I was able to study Piquitirisha Kali from Tuhon Mick Alcaraz and Tuhon Jasper de Ocampo. So, I have those variations. And on the side, I wouldn't really exactly say na ganun karami yung natutunan ko because it's a very limited engagement. I learned for a month, unfortunately, kasi masyadong short yung time namin, a little bit of Mora Mora Orbes General from Grandmaster Andu Abrian.
Pero, mahirap bang matuto ng Filipino martial arts?
Ang sagot ko dyan, depende sa tao. As everything else, it depends on the person. Will you ask me if it's a hard work? Does it take toll sa pagod? Yes, of course. Just like any other sport, just like any other martial arts. It's just that, kung ganun ka ka-interested sa Filipino martial arts, hindi siya mahirap pag-aralan. Hindi siya ganun ka hirap intindihin. Sa totoo lang, it's a weapon-based art. Maraming complicated na palo, maraming complicated na slashes ng sword, maraming complicated na thrusts ng knife. It's just that yung interest mo, yung interest ng estudyante, ikaw as a student, ano yung interest mo?
But is it an effective self-defense?
Indeed, it is. It is. No question about that. No? Earlier, I said merong weaknesses siya, but it doesn't necessarily mean na hindi siya effective. It is a highly effective form of fighting. One, you're dealing with weapons immediately. The moment you start with Filipino martial arts, you're understanding or you're learning weapons. You're gaining knowledge sa weapons understanding. You're getting armed with the stick, with the sword, with the knife, before you even go to your empty hands. That's what Filipino martial arts is. That's my first point. Second point, why would militaries, elite units around the world, okay, that's too broad. In many countries around the world, diba? Why would they spend time and fortune just so that they could learn Filipino martial arts? Regardless if they imported an instructor from the Philippines or they hire someone, an expert who learned from the Philippines, from a Filipino master, and they would bring him in sa unit just so that they could teach. Why waste time? Of course.
Maraming natatakot.
Of course, anyone can learn. Young people, old people, middle-aged people. Anyone can learn. As long as the interest is there, anyone can learn. And kung minsan din kasi ang problema yung pag-establish ng ng Filipino Martial Arts Group. Here's the thing, maraming magaling na instructors in the Philippines. Marami ring scam na instructors. Yun yung problema. I will not touch base on that. But how do you know? One, hindi consistent. Pabago-bago yung sinasabi. Diba? Maraming ganyang instructor. Pangalawa, the techniques. Yung mga technique na ginagawa niya. I mean, if you're not too keen into fighting or in violence, then maybe mahirap siyang maspat kasi akala mo, wow, ang galing niya, ganyan. But really, gamitan lang natin ng logic. Diba? Talaga bang pagkuha niya ng kamay na ganon, maaabangan ba talaga niya yung parating na kamay and all that? I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to go into details. Talaga bang pag pinihit niyang ganon yung kamay, babaligtad yung tao? Talaga bang pag pinihit mong ganun yung kamay, lilipad yung tao? Oh, come on. Really? Diba? Really? Talaga bang pag sinaksak siyang ganun, sisipain niya yung knife? And do you think it's effective? Really? I mean, let's use logic. Kahit naman siguro hindi ka pa napaaway sa buong buhay mo, if you're faced with someone who has a knife, who's armed with a knife, and your teacher would teach you to kick the knife from his hand as he deploys the knife, I mean, there's something wrong with you pag naniwala ka doon. Now, ito pa isa. How do you know na scam yung instructor mo? If your instructor would say, pag natutunan mo tong technique na to, you will be unbeatable. Scam yun.
So, hindi kailangan matakot ng gusto mo.
No. Bakit ka kailangan matakot sa teacher mo? Kapag takot ka sa teacher mo, then bakit ka pa nag-aaral sa kanya? Why are you with that person if you fear that person?
So you can be approached.
Of course. Ganito lang talaga yung mukha ko. Suffice it to say, I look angry but I'm not. You shouldn't see me when I'm angry. This is just how I am. Over the years, I look like an unapproachable person. Pero again, sabi nga nila kasi, don't judge the book by its cover. Diba? So, minsan yung iba gusto mag-train, but they never attempted to approach me. So, go for it. Learn Filipino martial arts, value it, understand it. Martial arts, not only Filipino martial arts, is not for everyone because it requires dedication. It requires time, it requires patience. But it doesn't necessarily mean na it's not for everyone, hindi natin dapat ma-appreciate to. Bakit ba natin kailangan i-appreciate ang Filipino martial arts? Because of the martial skills coming from the Filipino martial arts. Our ancestors, our heroes, so to say, has liberated our country. Those people from the members of Katipunan, Gat Andres Bonifacio, the World War II veterans, these are all practitioners of Filipino martial arts. The tribal group, even before the Hispanic period, these are all practitioners of Filipino martial arts as we know it. You know, it may be different from the past, yung kung ano yung meron tayo ngayon, but it's still Filipino martial arts. It is still a fighting art. So, about appreciation, yes, we should definitely appreciate our own. Imagine this, if the Chinese people highly values wushu or kung fu for that matter, if the Japanese highly values aikido, judo, karate, and what have you, why not us the Filipinos? Bakit hindi natin binavalue yung Filipino martial arts natin? Regardless if you want to call it arnis kali or eskrima. Hindi yun pa isang problema rin kasi minsan yung student nawawalan ng gana because of the crab mentality of the Filipino martial arts masters. My art is better than yours. My art is superior. When the fact is, there's no such thing as a superior martial arts. There are highly exceptional martial artists, but there is no such thing as an ultimate martial arts.
So how important is Filipino martial arts in your personal life?
In my personal life, it actually defines who I am. It has been me ever since way back. Remember, I learned Filipino martial arts when I was on my early teens, and since then, Filipino martial arts has been very valuable for me. It's my way of life. Regardless if I've transferred from one teacher to another, it is me. It is part of my life. It has helped me defend myself more than once. So definitely, it's very important. It's a legacy that I want to pass on to siguro to the future generations.